Marriage in the USA, boys, is a scam. It's a scam. And I'm not saying that I'm against marriage, because I 100% believe in marriage. But when it comes to marrying in the USA, yes. It's a fucking scam, boys. It's a scam. You know why? Because family courts in the USA are geared towards women. They still have the precedent, and they still rely on laws from the 1950s. From the 1950s. Back when women were completely different compared to 2023 women, okay? Obvious. That's obvious, all right? I mean, think about that. I personally would rather marry a 1950s woman than marry a woman from 2023. But that's just me. I also would not get married in the USA in this day and age. But I digress. My point being is that it's a lose-lose game, gentlemen. It's a lose-lose game. You know why? Even if you're the greatest guy of all time, let's say that. Let's say you are the greatest father of all time and you've always done the right thing. You've always had the great job. You've always done everything right. The courts are still going to side with the mother because she is the default based on the 1950s precedent. And women aren't even like that from the 1950s. They aren't even like that anymore. But it doesn't matter. The courts have not caught up to that precedent of the 2023 precedent of women compared to the 1950s precedent of women. And that's where marriage fails against men. Think about that. What benefit does marriage have for men in the USA in 2023? It's high risk, low reward for a man, and high reward, low risk for a woman. Or Braulio, what do you mean by that? Well, I mean that. I mean, look at all the fucking hot-ass chicks that fucking marry basketball players, marry NFL players, marry all these dudes from the celebrity, people. The celebrity dudes from Los Angeles and all those other fucking, Miami and all that shit. All these chicks marry these dudes. Fuck. Elon Musk is a good example. Elon Musk. Who's another one? Fuck. There's a lot of fucking rappers, especially, that marry fucking modern women in the USA and then they end up getting divorced 3 years down the line, and then the woman always tries to fucking take half his shit because she's owed it for all the shit that she did, all that stupid shit. She didn't do jack shit. She sat on her ass, she got fucked by the dude, and then now she wants like half his shit. You see? You see how the laws are stacked against us, gentlemen? Because family courts are relying on the 1950s precedent of women that are still like, they're still in the 1950s, and they're not. Women in the USA are not. Hell, I don't even see it as we have an opposite sex here, gentlemen, in the USA. As far as I see it, women are just like men in the USA, because they sure as fuck act like it. It's fucking truth. And that's my point. That's why marriage is a scam in this country. I would only get married in Mexico or the Philippines or something else. You know why? Because I wouldn't have to report my marriage to the USA. Hell, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I get military benefits. I wouldn't report that to the VA or anything. No, of course not. They don't really, I would get paid more if I did, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bring that woman back to the USA, that's why. That's why I wouldn't report it. I'm not bringing her back to the USA. I'm staying in that country. Yes, of course, yes, even marriage in another country still runs that risk, but it's a lot lower than in the USA if I married a woman in the USA and she was also in the USA. You get what I'm saying? It's a scam, boys. And it's very high risk. I have known, like I said, I've said this in previous videos. I have known dudes that have offed themselves from the ex-wife taking all their shit and taking their kids, and then they can't even see the kids. It doesn't work like that in other countries. As a matter of fact, money and custody is nowhere near like it is in the USA, where it's all defaulted to the woman. In other countries, 100% equal, and money isn't even a fucking factor. That's my point. That's why. That's why I would never consider marriage or having children in this country. Matter of fact, I've already said this. I would not raise my children in the USA. I wouldn't want them to even know anything about the USA. Hell, the woman that I'm talking to in Mexico, I'm not bringing her back. I'm leaving my children, or my hypothetical children, because, I mean, she's only 24. I mean, I can have kids with her once I get over there in a few months. But I would want my kids to grow up in Mexico and be Mexicans. And I would not want them to know anything about the USA and be like, oh, well, my dad, yeah, he's from Alaska, he's from the USA, but we don't know anything about America. They would say this in Spanish, obviously. And maybe if they wanted, once they were adults, because I actually don't know the adult age in Mexico. It might be 17 or 16, I'm not sure, but I digress. Once they were adults and they wanted to see the USA, they could legally try to go through the parameters of becoming an American citizen through their dad, me. Otherwise, no, I don't want, especially if I had a daughter. Fuck no. I would not want to raise my daughter to, be a, because that's what the culture in the USA breeds. It breeds strong, independent women that don't need a man. They should just get a career and just not rely on a dude. And that's why there's so many fucking 40, 50-year-olds that are going to fucking die alone. Women. That are going to die alone. Well, men are going to be in the same... Well, no, ladies, it doesn't work like that. Because men are much more biologically tuned to be alone since caveman days. Women are more group-oriented based on biology. They need to be around people. They have that biological instinct to have children and to be around their kids and other mothers and all that. So they can't do it like us, despite what feminism tells them. Just saying. That's why I would never want to raise my daughter in the USA. But I digress. That's my point. Point of my video. Getting married in the USA is a fucking scam. God forbid, don't ever have children in this country either. Especially if it's a daughter, because I could not imagine having to tell my daughter, you don't need a man, you don't need a husband. Just focus on your career and become a doctor or something first, and then find a husband once you're 40 or some shit like that. Because she's going to fucking die alone. Like all the other American women that are going to die alone that didn't focus on family first and then career second. American women focus on career first and then family second. Because they think they can do it like us men, and they can't. Because they have a biological clock, and we don't. We can have kids till 70 or 80 years old, as long as we're not shooting blanks. That's where you fail, ladies. Anyways, Braulio's out. Peace. And I know it's politically incorrect, but it's the fucking truth. Just pointing out the facts.